Do you ever feel like the world is spinning out of control, like no matter what you do, the chaos keeps pulling you under? What if I told you there's one simple rule that could bring peace to your life, no matter how messy the outside world gets? 2025 is just around the corner, and let's face it, life isn't slowing down, the distractions are endless, the pressure is constant, and it feels like there's no time to just breathe. But here's the thing, there is a way to live above the noise. It's not complicated, but it will require a shift in how you think and act. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a rule that could transform how you approach every single day. The problem today isn't just the chaos around us, it's how we respond to it. Every day we're bombarded with negativity news headlines, endless scrolling, and a society that seems to thrive on conflict. We've become experts at reacting angry comments, impulsive decisions, and thoughts spinning out of control. And here's the kicker, the more we react, the more the chaos controls us. That's the challenge we're up against. How do you break free from a world designed to overwhelm you? How do you regain control of your mind and your actions when everything around you is screaming for your attention? 1. The rule that changes everything. Have you ever felt stuck in life, like no matter what you do, the world keeps throwing curveballs your way? Maybe you're juggling work, relationships, health, or finances, and it feels like everything is demanding your attention all at once. It's overwhelming, isn't it? But what if I told you there's a rule of principle so simple yet so profound that could completely shift how you handle life's challenges? The rule is this: control what you can and let go of what you can't. That's it. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But here's the catch, it's not enough to know the rule. You have to live by it. And living by it means rethinking the way you approach every situation, every decision, every moment of your life. Let's start with control. What does it really mean? To control something is to take responsibility for it. It means owning your decisions, your actions, and most importantly, your attitude. But here's the truth, most people spend their lives trying to control things that aren't theirs to control. They stress about what others think of them, worry about things far beyond their reach, and exhaust themselves trying to fix problems that aren't theirs to solve. Now, what about letting go? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring or become passive. It means recognizing the boundaries between what's within your power and what isn't. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of trying to control the uncontrolled, the uncontrolled, the uncontrollable. Because let's face it, there are some battles you simply can't win. And the sooner you learn to let those go, the lighter you'll feel. So why is this rule so life-changing? Because it gives you clarity, it helps you focus your energy where it matters most, on the things you can influence. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at how much more effective, peaceful, and fulfilled you become. It's not magic, it's a mindset. And it's a choice you can start making today. 2. The power of living the rule. Now let's talk about the difference between knowing the rule and living it. Knowing the rule is easy, you've probably heard similar advice before, but living it, that's where the magic happens. Living by this rule requires discipline, awareness, and a willingness to change the way you think and act. Think about this every day. Life throws countless situations your way. Some are within your control, like how you respond to a difficult conversation or how you manage your time. Others are completely out of your hands, like the traffic jam that makes you late or the market fluctuations that affect your investments. The problem is, most people spend too much energy reacting to the things they can't control, leaving them drained and frustrated. Living by this rule means pausing in those moments and asking yourself one simple question: is this something I can control? If the answer is yes, then take action. Do what you need to do to influence the outcome. But if the answer is no, let it go. Don't waste another ounce of energy on it. Easier said than done, right? That's because it's not just a habit, it's a skill. And like any skill, it takes practice. Here's why this rule is so powerful: it frees you from unnecessary stress. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free up mental and emotional space to focus on what truly matters. You become more productive, more resilient, and most importantly, more at peace. But here's the best part: the more you practice this rule, the stronger you become. You start to notice the patterns in your life, the things that consistently trigger stress, frustration, or anxiety. And instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully. You take back control of your life, one decision at a time. So what does it look like to truly live by this rule? It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about catching yourself when you start to spiral into worry or frustration and reminding yourself of the rule. It's about choosing to focus on what you can do rather than fixating on what you can't. It's about making the conscious decision every single day to control what you can and let go of what you can't. This isn't just a rule, it's a way of life. And once you start living it, you'll wonder how you ever managed without it. 3. Understand and control what you cannot. Let's start with an important question. What does it mean to control what you can control? Isn't about dominating every situation or micromanaging everything around you. It's about recognizing where your influence begins and ends and making sure you focus your energy where it counts. At the core of this principle lies a simple truth: your thoughts, your words, and your habits shape your life. Think about it. Every decision you make, no matter how small, is either building the life you want or taking you further away from it. But here's the problem: most people overlook the things they can control and obsess over the things they can't. Let's break it down, starting with your thoughts. Every day your mind is bombarded with thousands of thoughts. Some are empowering while others are destructive. The question is, which ones do you choose to entertain? Imagine your mind as a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, negativity, and fear, that's what will grow. But if you cultivate thoughts of gratitude, confidence, and possibility, you'll reap a far better harvest. Now, this isn't about ignoring reality or pretending life is always perfect. It's about choosing how you respond to the challenges that come your way. For example, when something goes wrong, do you immediately spiral into blame and frustration? Or do you take a step back, assess the situation, and focus on what you can do to improve it? That's where control begins, with the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. Next, let's talk about your words. Words are powerful. They can build bridges or burn them. They can inspire action or sow doubt. And here's the thing: the words you speak to yourself are just as important as the words you say to others. How often do you catch yourself saying things like, "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work"? Those words shape your reality. Instead, try to speak to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you'd offer to a close friend. Say things like, "I can figure this out," or "This is a challenge, not a defeat." Watch how your mindset shifts when your words reflect the possibilities, not the limitations. Finally, let's address your habits. Habits are the building blocks of your life. What you do consistently day in and day out determines where you end up. Want to know your future? Look at your daily habits. Are they leading you toward growth, health, and success, or are they holding you back? Here's a simple example. If you spend 10 minutes each morning planning your day, you'll approach it with clarity and purpose. But if you start your day scrolling through social media, you're letting distractions dictate your mindset. The choice is yours, but the results are predictable. When you focus on controlling your thoughts, words, and habits, you're not just surviving life, you're designing it. And that's the kind of control that leads to a stronger, more intentional life. 4. Your daily choices matter. Let me ask you something. How do you start your day? Do you wake up feeling purposeful, or do you stumble into your morning reacting to whatever comes your way? Believe it or not, the small choices you make every single day are shaping your life in ways you might not even realize. Here's the thing: success, however you define it, isn't about grand gestures or once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every day. These choices are like bricks, and every brick you lay builds the structure of your life. Let's take a simple example: your morning routine. When you wake up, what's the first thing you do? Do you grab your phone and start scrolling through email, social media, or the news? If so, you're starting your day by letting external forces dictate your mindset. You're handing over control before you've even had your first cup of coffee. Now imagine a different choice. Instead of reaching for your phone, you spend 5 minutes setting an intention for your day. Maybe you write down 3 things you're grateful for, or map out your top priorities. That small shift changes everything. Instead of reacting to the world, you're stepping into your day with purpose and clarity. Another example is how you approach challenges. Every day you'll face moments of difficulty, whether it's a tough conversation, an unexpected setback, or just feeling unmotivated. In those moments, you have a choice. Do you react impulsively, or do you pause and respond thoughtfully? The way you handle those moments determines the tone of your day and your life. Here's something to consider: every choice you make is either a step toward the life you want or a step away from it. It might not feel significant in the moment, but over time, those choices add up. Think of it like this: if you choose to exercise for 30 minutes a day, you won't see dramatic results immediately. But 6 months down the line, you'll notice a difference in your energy, health, and confidence. On the flip side, if you choose to skip those workouts, you won't feel the impact right away. But 6 months later, you might wonder why you're feeling sluggish or unmotivated. The same principle applies to your mindset. If you choose to dwell on negative thoughts, it might feel harmless in the moment. But over time, those thoughts will shape your outlook on life. Conversely, if you choose to focus on gratitude, resilience, and possibility, you'll notice a shift not just in how you feel, but in the opportunities you attract. So what's the takeaway? Don't underestimate the power of your daily choices. Each one is a chance to move closer to the person you want to become and the life you want to live. Choose wisely, because your choices today are building your tomorrow. 5. The challenge of letting go. Letting go, it sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Why? Because we're wired to want control. We want things to go our way. We want people to behave how we expect them to. We want life to follow our plans. But here's the truth: no matter how much we want it, some things are simply beyond our grasp. The challenge of letting go isn't about giving up. It's not about apathy or indifference. Letting go means you stop giving your energy, your time, and your peace of mind to things that you cannot change. It's not about caring less, it's about caring wisely. Now let's dive deeper into this idea. Picture yourself holding a rope, pulling with all your strength against a massive force on the other end. The harder you pull, the more exhausted you become. The tension builds, your hands start to burn, and yet the force on the other end doesn't budge. That's what holding on to uncontrollable things feels like. You're draining yourself, but nothing changes. The moment you let go of the rope, you find relief. You're no longer fighting a losing battle. But how do you let go? It starts with a simple question: is this something I can control? If the answer is no, that's your cue to release it. This doesn't mean you ignore the problem. It means you focus on what's within your power instead of obsessing over what isn't. For instance, let's say you're facing criticism. Someone misunderstands you or questions your decisions. Naturally, your instinct might be to defend yourself, to explain, to argue. But here's the reality: you can't control how others perceive you. Their opinions are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and beliefs, not yours. What you can control is how you respond. Do you let their words derail your focus, or do you stay grounded and move forward? Letting go is also about embracing uncertainty. Life doesn't come with guarantees. Plans fall apart, relationships change, unexpected challenges arise. If you cling too tightly to how you think should be, you set yourself up for frustration. Instead, learn to adapt. Be like water flowing around obstacles instead of resisting them. Here's another way to think about it. Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack. Every time you hold on to something beyond your control, you add another rock to that backpack. Over time, it becomes so heavy that you can barely move. Letting go is like taking those rocks out one by one. It lightens your load, freeing you to focus on what truly matters. The challenge of letting go isn't something you master overnight. It's a practice, a mindset that you cultivate over time. Start small. The next time you feel stress or frustration creeping in, pause and ask yourself, can I change this? If the answer is no, take a deep breath and release it. Redirect your energy towards something you can influence. Remember, letting go isn't about losing control, it's about reclaiming your peace. It's about choosing where to invest your energy so that it builds you up instead of tearing you down. Here's what you can't control. Let's face it, life is full of things you can't control. From the weather to the economy, from other people's opinions to unexpected events, these are realities we all face. But here's the secret: the key to a peaceful, productive life isn't about controlling the uncontrollable, it's about recognizing it and letting it be. Think about the weather. You can't stop the rain, but you can carry an umbrella. You can't control a storm, but you can prepare for it. The same principle applies to life. When you accept what's beyond your influence, you free yourself from the frustration of fighting battles you can't win. Let's start with other people's opinions. This is a big one. How many times have you caught yourself worrying about what someone thinks of you? Whether it's a boss, a friend, or even a stranger, their opinion can feel overwhelming. But here's the truth: you can't control what someone else thinks or says. Their thoughts are shaped by their own experiences, their own lens of the world, not by who you truly are. So what can you do? Focus on your actions and intentions. Be true to yourself, act with integrity, and let the rest go. Opinions will come and go, but your self-worth shouldn't be tied to them. Next, let's talk about circumstances. Sometimes life throws curveballs: a sudden job loss, a health issue, or an economic downturn. It's natural to feel shaken when these things happen. But here's the reality: you can't control the situation, only how you respond to it. Take the economy, for example. You can't single-handedly change global markets, but you can adapt your spending, invest in learning new skills, or find ways to create additional income. It's not about ignoring the challenge, it's about focusing on what's within your power to change. And then there's time. No matter how much you plan, there are only 24 hours in a day. You can't control how quickly it passes, but you can control how you use it. Are you spending your time on things that matter? Or are you letting distractions pull you away from your goals? Here's a powerful exercise to try and make a list of all the things you're worried about right now. Then divide them into two categories: things you can control and things you can't. For the things you can control, take action. For the things you can't, practice letting them go. It's not always easy. Letting go requires trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that some things will work out as they're meant to. But when you focus your energy on what you can influence, you'll find that life becomes much more manageable. Remember, you don't have to control everything to live a good life. In fact, the more you focus on controlling what's within your reach and releasing what's not, the more peace and clarity you'll gain. 7. A practical way to start. Let's get practical. You've heard the theory: control what you can, let go of what you can't. But how do you actually live it out? Here's a simple but powerful tool to help you ask yourself this question every time you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or stressed. Is this something I can control? This question is like a compass, guiding you back to what matters. It helps you pause, evaluate, and redirect your energy where it counts. But let's dig deeper into how and why it works. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, you're late, and every passing minute feels like an eternity. Frustration builds. Why is this happening? Why can't people drive better? But then you ask yourself, is this something I can control? The answer is no. You can't move the cars ahead of you, and you can't change the clock. What you can control is your reaction. Maybe you use the time to listen to an audiobook or call someone you've been meaning to catch up with. Suddenly the situation doesn't feel so helpless anymore. This question forces you to separate what's within your power from what isn't. And here's the magic: when you stop spending energy on things you can't control, you create space to focus on the things you can. Let's look at another example relationship. Suppose you're dealing with someone who's critical or difficult to please. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of trying to win their approval, but ask yourself, is this something I can control? Can you change how they think or behave? No, but you can control how you respond. You can set boundaries, choose your words carefully, and decide not to take their negativity personally. This question is especially helpful when emotions run high. Think about a moment when you were overwhelmed by anger, fear, or sadness. Maybe someone said something hurtful, or you faced an unexpected setback. In those moments, your emotions can cloud your judgment, making everything feel out of control. But when you pause and ask, is this something I can control? It brings clarity. It reminds you to step back, breathe, and take a more measured approach. The beauty of this question is its simplicity. You don't need complicated strategies or tools to use it. You just need to pause and reflect. But here's the key: you have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes we cling to the illusion of control because letting go feels uncomfortable. It's hard to admit that we can't fix everything. But the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can move forward with purpose. Now, here's a tip to make this practice stick. Write the question down on a sticky note in your journal or as a reminder on your phone. Is this something I can control? Seeing it regularly will train your mind to think this way naturally. And don't stop there. Share this question with others. When you see a friend or family member struggling, gently ask them, is this something you can control? You'll not only help them gain perspective, but you'll also reinforce the habit in yourself. Start small. Use this question once a day, then gradually make it a regular part of your decision-making process. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Stress will feel less overwhelming and challenges will feel more manageable. You'll find yourself focusing more on what you can do instead of getting stuck on what you can't. I remember, this isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about redirecting your energy to where it can make a real difference. By asking yourself this simple question, you take the first step toward a life of clarity, peace, and purpose. 8. Shift your focus to what matters. If there's one skill that will transform your life, it's this learning to focus on what truly matters. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to get pulled in 100 directions, chasing things that don't really serve you. But when you shift your focus to what you can control and let go of the rest, you create a foundation for clarity, resilience, and growth. Let's break this down. What does it mean to focus on what matters? It starts with identifying your priorities. Not everything deserves your attention, and not every battle is worth fighting. When you know what's truly important, your health, your relationships, your goals, you can align your actions with those values. Here's the thing: your focus is your most valuable resource. Where you place it determines the quality of your life. If you're constantly worrying about things you can't change, you're wasting that resource. But when you focus on what you can influence, you empower yourself to make meaningful progress. Think about it like this: your life is like a garden. If you spend all your time fretting about the weather or the soil conditions you can't control, you'll neglect the seeds you've planted. But if you focus on watering, weeding, and tending to your garden, you'll see it thrive despite the external conditions. Shifting your focus also means saying no to distractions. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, social media, endless notifications, other people's drama. But ask yourself, is this helping me move closer to my goals? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. For example, let's say you're working on a personal goal, starting a business, improving your health, or learning a new skill. Along the way, you'll face distractions. Maybe someone criticizes your efforts, or you get caught up comparing yourself to others. These things can sap your energy if you let them. But when you focus on what matters, your own progress, your own journey, you stay on track. Shifting your focus also builds resilience. Life will always have challenges, but when you concentrate on what you can do instead of what's going wrong, you become stronger. You start to see obstacles as opportunities to grow. Here's a practical way to make this shift each day. Write down 3 things you want to focus on. These could be tasks, values, or goals. Keep the list simple and realistic. Then, as you go through your day, remind yourself to come back to those 3 things whenever distractions arise. Finally, remember that shifting your focus isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep coming back to what's important. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't, you'll not only reduce stress, but also create space for growth and fulfillment. You'll discover that when you invest your energy in what truly matters, everything else falls into place. Here's the real beauty of this rule: the more you practice it, the stronger you become. Life doesn't magically get easier, but you get better at handling it. Your mind becomes clearer, your emotions steadier, and your decisions more intentional. Imagine walking through 2025 with this mindset. While everyone else is swept away by the latest crisis, you remain calm. While others react impulsively, you act with purpose. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. So here's the challenge for you for the next 7 days. Practice this rule. Focus only on what you can control and consciously let go of everything else. Write it down if you have to. Remind yourself every morning and every night. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel, how much sharper your mind becomes, and how much more you get done. It's a small change with a massive impact, one that could define how you live, not just in 2025, but for the rest of your life.